Gene Policini Center on the campus of the Rochester Institute of Technology. We welcome you to RIT SportsZone's coverage of Tiger hockey. Tonight kicks off the final regular season series as the Air Force Academy has returned to Rochester to face the hometown Tigers. Number 15 for RIT is Sean Cameron. The senior forward leads the Tigers in scoring with 17 goals and 10 assists despite being held pointless last weekend against Niagara. We'll see what Cameron and company have in store for us here on Senior Weekend. Should be fun. Good evening, I'm Kevin Roach, and welcome to RIT Sports Zone Pre-Game Live. Well, for once, the Tigers, they can exhale as they enter the final weekend of the regular season, already knowing they've locked up a first-round playoff bye. RIT will finish either third or fourth in the standings. As for Air Force, the Falcons can finish as high as fifth, but no lower than eighth. Let's show you how the Tigers locked up that first round bye last weekend right here against Niagara. First period, Andrew Rinaldi's shot, no, stopped by Chad Veltri, but Jake Joffe there for the rebound, is seventh on the year. 1-0 Tigers after one. Second period, Niagara with a 5-on-3 advantage, and they take advantage as Ben Soke scores his second goal on the weekend, 10th on the season, and we were tied at 1. Later in the period, Tigers with the miscue here, and it's going to cost them as they turn it over, and Ryan Namovsky makes them pay, scoring for Niagara with 2 unanswered goals for the Purple Eagles. They took a 2-1 lead after 2, but in the third period, Niagara looking to extend it. A great opportunity to do so right here, but Logan Trackett, the poke check, knocks the puck away, keeps it a 1-goal game. Big play there. Under 3 minutes to play, Tigers trying to even it up. Dan Willett's shot going to be stopped, and watch Veltri quickly cover up as Caleb Moritz can't get a stick on a rebound as it was covered up quickly. So under a minute to play, Tigers on the power play, just 47 seconds remaining in the game, and the defenseman, number 2, Adam Brubaker, somehow sneaks it through to tie the game at 2 and send us to overtime. Just over a minute into the overtime session, Tigers on the attack. The drop feed here to Brubaker, and Brubaker does it again. The game winner for RIT as the Tigers lock up a first-round playoff bye with a thrilling 3-2 overtime victory last Saturday night over Niagara. As we look inside the numbers, it was just the third and fourth goals on the year for Adam Brubaker, but those were the biggest of the season by far. Jake Joffe, oh my gosh, all he does is score. 7 goals on 16 shots so far this year. And as for the Tigers' special teams, 1 for 11 on the power play last weekend, but that one goal helped them avoid a sweep and allowed them to pick up a big 3 points in addition to that first round bye. So now it is on to Air Force for Wayne Wilson's group as they look to wrap up the regular season with a strong showing while also trying to stay healthy for the playoffs. Health is on the mind of the Tigers here tonight. With more on that, Johnny Tullio standing by live now with Coach Wilson. Johnny?
All right, Kevin, thanks so much. Yeah, health is on the mind. Let's start with goalie Logan Trackett. Will not play tonight. Upper body injury, Wayne?
Upper body injury, day-to-day. It's not too serious, a little bit precautionary, but we want to, be safe on things.
So that's good news. So if it was a playoff game, he would be between the net?
Yeah, I don't know. That would be up to the training staff and the doctor. So he's not in tonight. That's all I know.
What do you want to see from them from Ian, who's only played in 3 games for you?
Well, I think Ian's worked hard all year long. I think both him and Colby have done a great job. We got Colby in there earlier against Lowell and did a great job against a nationally ranked team. And we expect Ian to give us results here tonight as well. I think he's worked hard for it, and now he's got an opportunity, and he's going to have to do the job.
Let's talk about seeding. The Air Force can go as high as 5 or as low as 8. You guys are locked in at 4, but could go to 3. Do you think much about that going into these next 2 games?
Well, we don't think too much about it. I mean, we'd like to get 3rd, and we want to win this game, and I think that's where our focus is. I mean, 3rd gives you an opportunity to play a team in the the second round that's already played. So, there could be some fatigue there versus a team that's rested. But we want to finish. We want to play well tonight because we want to be a good team. And going into the playoffs, we want to be on a roll. And it's important that we do play well.
Playing some of your best hockey. You played them back in October. You swept them. I think you were outshot something 80-something to whatever. What do you take away from those 2 games? You didn't get a lot of shots, but you got 2 wins.
Yeah, that's all. I don't remember the shots, to be be honest with you, John. We got 2 wins, 2 one-goal wins, and it's funny because it does seem so long ago now. It was our first 2 league games back in October, and now we're playing them the last 2 games here. I think a lot of things have changed. I mean, you just think of the emergence of our freshmen in particular, and just how everyone's development has gone this year. So a lot has changed, but the competitive drive in both teams will always be there. There've always been great games with Air Force and tight, hard games to play in, and we expect a lot of that again tonight.
Should be a lot of fun. Great talking to you tonight, Wayne.
Thank you.
That is RIT head coach Wayne Wilson. Kevin, let's send it back up to you.
And Johnny, it was 80-22 in shots out at Air Force. 79 saves by Logan Drackett was the difference.
80-22, you were outshot, Wayne.
Kevin. 22's there.
All right,
Thank you, guys. We'll talk soon.
Right, thank you.
Well, since joining Atlantic Hockey in 2006, the Air Force Academy has consistently been one of the league's top teams, having won 2 regular season titles and 7 tournament championships during that stretch. But this year has not been a typical season for the Falcons. Air Force was out on the ice here at the Policini Center this morning. Falcons are coming off a victory over Mercyhurst, the last place team in the league, last Saturday night. That snapped a 9-game winless skid dating all the way back to January 18th. Now, while the effort has been there, head coach Frank Serratori tells us he knows they're not going to win a lot of games if his team can't find a way to generate more goals.
We don't have a lot of natural scoring, and it seems like whoever plays us, that team has a good chance of having goalie of the week at the end, you know. But so this week against RIT, you know, their teams always improve. Wayne and Hilsey and David, they are good coaches, and their teams always get better as the season goes on. And so we know they're going to be a lot better than they were back in October. But we think we're better too, and you know, we'll be tough to play against. But when it's all said and done, you know, we got to keep the puck out of our net, and we're going to have to find a way to get more than 1 goal against Drackett. You know, the biggest thing for us is going into the playoffs feeling good about our play. We still have some things to tidy up defensively. We're not a team that's going to score a lot of goals, you know, so we've got to advance pucks. We can't get beat off the walls. We have to have quick exits and, you know, try to play as the least as possible in our zone. Our special teams need to be good. Our goaltending, a lot of things have to go well for us. But again, you know, the spirit is there, and if we tidy up our games, we have the ability to be able to be a spoiler in the playoffs and a very, very, very tough out.
Yeah, you know, if there's a team that no one wants to play, it's the Air Force Academy. He'll have to beat Ian Andriano tonight in place of Logan Drackett, as we mentioned. So as we enter the final weekend of the regular season, here's a look at how things look in Atlantic Hockey. Yeah, I see the regular season champion already locked up the top seed in next month's tournament. Sacred Heart also locked in at number 2. Now, RIT, as we mentioned, can move as high as 3rd. Tigers have 2 remaining games, while Army has just 1. That comes up tomorrow night against AIC. Robert Morris looking to hang on to the 5th spot in a first-round bye, while Air Force still has a shot at that, as does Niagara and Bentley. Just 6 points separate 5th through 8th place. It should be fun these next 2 nights. Still to come on the program, RIT hosted Lindenwood in women's hockey this afternoon. Highlights are coming your way. Plus, it's the only orange seat in this building. With the Air Force Academy back in town tonight, we'll revisit why that is and who that lone orange seat pays tribute to. But first, he was the hero last Saturday night with 2 goals, including the overtime game winner. Number 2 for RIT is senior defenseman Adam Brubaker. The Elmira, Ontario native, will join the program live next as our coverage of Tiger hockey continues live from the Gene Policini Center. It's Air Force and RIT at 7:05. This is RIT Sports Zone, pregame live. Oh, it is senior weekend here at the Gene Policini Center. The SportsZone team handing out posters of all 7 members of the class of 2020 tonight. Tomorrow we'll be giving away our senior trading cards during the women's game against Lindenwood at 2 o'clock and the men's game, of course, at 7:05, once again against Air Forces. We welcome you back to RIT SportsZone pregame live. Tigers going for their 3rd straight victory over Air Force tonight after sweeping the Falcons out in Colorado back in October. Elsewhere around the league tonight, Canisius hoping for a home series in the first round of the playoffs. They need a sweep this weekend against Mercyhurst. Bentley hosts Holy Cross in the first of a home-and-home series with the Crusaders, as both teams are looking to earn home ice advantage in next week's first round of the playoffs. And Robert Morris just 4 conference points away this weekend. They need it against Niagara to lock up that 5th spot. Also a bye. That 5th team would be on the road at the 4th place team in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, in the net for RIT tonight, as we've mentioned, will be number 1 Ian Andriano. It will be his first start of the season and first since February 1st of last year against Arizona State. Now, Andriano has seen time in 3 games this season. He has given up 5 goals in those 3 appearances. As for Air Force, it will be number 33 Alex Schilling, the sophomore from Medina, Minnesota, helped lead the Falcons to 5 points against Mercyhurst last weekend, which earned him AHA Goalie of the Week honor. Schilling allowed just 2 goals against the Lakers, and head coach Frank Serratori says Schilling has been their MVP so far this season. For RIT, they're coming off a dramatic 3-point weekend thanks to defenseman Adam Brubaker. The senior scored in the final minute of regulation against Niagara last Saturday night before scoring the game winner in overtime. The AHA Defensive Player of the Week sitting by live now with our Kim Coffey. Kim?
Thanks, Kevin. Adam, you guys have got to be coming off a high with that overtime win last weekend, especially with you scoring not only the game-tying goal, but the game winner. You lock up the bye in the playoffs. What's the mentality going forward now into this last weekend of the regular season, especially for you as a senior?
I think we just take that win last weekend and keep that rolling. And, we're still trying to work up to 3rd this weekend. We have that possibility. So obviously just playing our game. And if we do that, I think we'll have that good chance.
You guys swept Air Force earlier in the season. How much of a different game are you expecting against these guys now rather than back in October when you took them on earlier?
They're always physical. They're always hardworking. And I think we might have got a little lucky at some points in those games, squeaking out only 1-goal leads. And I think it's going to be a totally different game tonight. They're always physical.
Air Force is 6-0 in this building. What do you guys have to do to make sure you break the streak tonight?
I think just playing our game. I didn't know that till now, but and that's good motivation for us tonight.
Adam, thanks so much. Good luck today.
Yeah, thank you.
Gene, John, or I'm sorry, Kevin. Back
All
to you.
right, Kim. Yes, they have won their last 6 here. The Air Force Academy coming in here tonight looking to make it 7. Brubaker's 2 goals and 1 assist last Saturday moved him into a tie for 11th on RIT's Division I career scoring list with former teammate Gabe Valenzuela. The senior defenseman now has 104 career points and will play in his 147th consecutive career game here tonight. What a career. Women's hockey this afternoon, RIT and Lindenwood College Hockey America action, second period. Tigers up 1. Taylor Baker scores her 3rd on the season. RIT led 3-1 after 2, but in the 3rd period, Lindenwood would strike twice, just a minute apart too, as Kayla Martinez would tie the game right there at 3, but RIT would respond just 2 minutes later, and it's Stella Haberman getting her very first goal of the season. Tigers hang on for a 4-3 win. They'll lock up the 5th seed and will face Penn State in next week's CHA tournament at the Harbor Center. Well, when the Air Force Academy touches down in Rochester each season, it's a fitting time to reflect on an individual who had ties to the United States Air Force and RIT. Among the over 4,000 seats here at the Gene Policini Center, one stands out from the rest. If you've been here, it's hard not to notice the lone orange seat among a sea of gray and black, because much like the former Tiger at honors, this seat stands out even in the biggest crowd.
His name was Green Williams.
He was just a great guy to be around. Everybody loved Green. They loved the way he operated. They loved the way he kidded around, and they loved his big burly mustache.
Williams and Jim Stanley were fraternity brothers at Phi Sigma Kappa back in the 70s. And while Stanley played football, Williams was a goaltender for the RIT hockey team.
Green wasn't the most gifted goalie in the world, but I soon learned by being with him quite a bit. He had the heart of a lion, and his work ethic made up for any skills that he lacked.
After graduating from RIT, Williams enrolled in the United States Air Force, where tragically he was killed in 1984 during a pilot training accident.
It was quite devastating. because he was young, you know. We were all young in our prime and, you know, just getting started in life. So it was kind of a real shock. And, you know, to this day, you know, whenever I see a jet stream across the sky, and anybody who knew Green closely thinks of Green.
Thanks to Green's sister, former teammates, and fraternity brothers like Stanley, a permanent tribute can be found in section 107, row K, seat number 8. A single orange seat right above the net where Williams spent his time as a Tiger.
How important is it to tell people that don't know about Green and what he not only meant to you, but to RIT?
I miss him. You know, I guess I just miss my friend. Having the seat here, it gives us a chance to remember him. It gives us a chance to remember, you know, what kind of fellow he was and you know what he did for again RIT and his fraternity and especially his country. You know, we're all proud of that, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that went through the hockey program that served our country and may have been injured or may have actually been killed. But I saw the chance to recognize Green in a special way for everyone that served in our military.
Yeah, once again, we are proud to pay tribute to Green Williams, the former RIT goaltender and a member of the U.S. Air Force. Well, still to come here tonight, we'll look back on a memorable playoff meeting between these two programs. That is next on the home of Tiger Hockey. This is RIT Sports Zone, pregame live.
Remaining in the power play. Gunner was just a tad late getting there. He had an easy one. Big save made, open net, and there you go. We have our first goal tonight. That's number 17, Chad Demers, with his 14th of the season. Power play goal with 5:46 remaining here in the first. Brady Norris sends it ahead in front. Garbowski scores! We are tied! The 25th of the season for the captain, Matt Garbowski. Mitchell back up top. Cowley. Gap down low. In front, oh! It's a softie let in. Mitchell puts it in, and the Tigers this time put it on the board. Tigers are not letting him advance.
For one last rush, if they can get even a shot off.
Gunner sending over to the far corner. 5 seconds remaining. Fans making all sorts of noise. The Tigers have taken game 1.
Big save by Ruby on the lap. Think that may have went. Big pad save.
Two power play goals for the RIT Tigers. And this is as loud as we've heard this building.
What a finish. And congratulations to Jordan Ruby. Looked like he had lost his job a few weeks back. And I thought, first star tonight. Maybe the first star tonight.
Yeah, what a series. RIT would go on to sweep that quarterfinal series with Air Force and win the Atlantic Hockey Championship. They also knocked off the #1 seed, Minnesota State Mankato, in the NCAA tournament that year. Now, overall, Air Force leads the series with RIT and has a 7-3 record over the last 10 meetings. Championship-wise, these two teams have been the class of the league. Combined for 10 titles, the Falcons are a perfect 7-0 when they get to that title game. As we welcome you back inside the Gene Policini Center, where you're watching RIT Sports Zone pregame live, presented by Taylor the Builders. And we welcome in Gene Battaglia and John DiTullio. And guys, as I mentioned earlier, this is not your typical Air Force team. They've had some injuries to contend with this season. They're not scoring a lot of goals, according to their coach. And this is a big reason why they just have 9 wins coming in this season. But you certainly can't sleep on this program.
Oh, heck no. I mean, they're going to scratch and claw, John, as we welcome in the assistant coach, Dave Insulacco. Dave, really appreciate your time tonight. Let's go back to the beginning of the season. A couple wins out in Colorado Springs. Do you even look at the tape with it being that far back, or how much tape did you watch from that weekend?
I didn't really watch any. We didn't play very well. We lucked out. We were very fortunate in both those games. Air Force obviously outplayed us, and Logan Drackett was extremely hot, and he was a difference maker in those games.
And you look at your team now, Dave, all the contributions you're getting from the freshman players. You can go back then and look how they've performed now. They've made some huge strides for you and probably have put you in this position to get that first round bye.
Not just our freshmen, I think all of our players have grown tremendously as the season's gone on. Guys that didn't get an opportunity last year to play in key situations have gotten opportunities, and they've taken advantage of it. Obviously, 4 freshmen have come in and contributed considerably, but our entire team has taken a huge step from last year to this year, and as the season has progressed, we've just continued along that track.
Dave, as far as Ian Andriano tonight, getting the starting goal for the injured Logan Drackett, what's your expectation of Ian tonight?
Just Ian to come out and play like he plays in practice. He's very, very capable. He's very athletic goalie, so I'm looking forward to watching him play. He deserves an opportunity because he works extremely hard and he's a great teammate.
Dave, appreciate your time. Go get him tonight.
Thank you.
Dave Insulacco, the coach here at RIT, assisting Wayne Wilson.
I think you throw out the records when these two teams play. It's always tightly contested, right? Always great goaltending, certainly from Air Force. They always seem to roll out a goalie who is unbelievable, and they've got a hot one coming in right now. If they can get their offense in check, they'll be a tough out come playoff time for sure.
Yeah, Air Force, they're going to be battling tonight on that top line. Marshall Bowery, one of the returnees on this team, the left wing, entering tonight with 9 goals on the season.
Yeah, tied for the team lead, had the game winner in their victory over Mercyhurst. It snapped a 9-game winless streak for the Falcons, but Bowery tells you how tough goals have come by. He leads the team with 9. So, their offense has struggled all season long.
The Tiger penalty kill, well, heck, everything gets a boost tonight. When one of your top centers comes back, you take a look at number 21, Alden Dupuis, back in the lineup
You
tonight.
look at his numbers. He's only 5'9", 170, but gosh, he just plays all over. He just plays bigger than that. Look at the goals and the assists and the points. He anchors that top line now with Cameron and Bruce, but good to have number 21 back on the ice and healthy come playoff time.
Oh, it'd be nice to get the 3 points tonight, John. Try to get into 3rd place and then control your destiny tomorrow night.
Keys are, eyes on Ian. He just played only 3 games this year. They can go up to number 3, so I think a lot of pressure falls on number 1 tonight. Super Schilling, that's the fact. You look how well Alex Schilling has played. He was AHA goalie of the week last week. He gave up only a combined 2 goals versus Mercyhurst. And the playoff picture's on the minds for both these clubs. Air Force can go as high as 5, but as low as 8th. RIT can go no lower than 4, but can leapfrog to number 3 if things break their way this weekend.
Kevin, we're never disappointed by an RIT Air Force matchup. We have great expectations for tonight's game.
Absolutely. Frank's already been to Wegmans. It's going to be a good weekend, boys. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon. Well, still to come on the Pregame Live, we'll tell you how you can get your hands on those RIT playoff tickets. That is next. This is RIT SportsZone Pregame Live. Back here on Pregame Live, it's Air Force and RIT. The Falcons, winners of 6 straight in this building. It is senior weekend. SportsZone giving out the senior posters, all 7 seniors from the class of 2020. Trading cards tomorrow night. You want to get here for those. We are back with you tomorrow night for the regular season and series finale between the Tigers and Falcons. Coverage kicks off at 6:30 with RIT SportsZone Pregame Live, presented by Taylor the Builders. Once again, we'll carry the entire senior ceremony live beginning at 7 o'clock on My 18 Rochester and FlowHockey.tv. After tomorrow night, we know the Tigers will be back on home ice for the Atlantic Hockey quarterfinals beginning March 13th for the best of 3 series. Tickets for that playoff series on sale right now. Grab yours today at the Policini Center box office or online at rittickets.com. Well, that's going to do it for us. Up next, John and Gene have the call as the Tigers and Falcons renew their rivalry, and we'll see you back here for the intermission report. Until then, enjoy the game. RIT SportsZone Live begins now.